Hello everybody and welcome back to the M.O.C Spotlight, where we take apart what you build. Today we've got a special guest, not just 3 M.O.Cs, but in fact a guest. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey everyone, I'm Awesomenessborn. Mostly everyone calls me Born. And yeah, I post M.O.Cs online.
How long have you been putting parts together, man?
Well, this is a complicated question. Well, I guess since 2002, but I haven't really had an online presence until like 2013.
Yeah.
And I just had a resurgence in the last year or two.
Well, that's good to hear. Yeah, it's a similar time frame for me. I've been trying to throw random parts together for Lord knows how long, but I don't think I've got much of a online presence in terms of my M.O.Cs. Maybe I should start posting some myself. But
Yeah, you should.
yeah, I've been taking a look at your builds for quite a while now, and I gotta say you've definitely got the you've got the expertise behind them. It's awesome looking at all these.
Thank you. It took several years of practice.
I could imagine. You've really got away with shaping. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first one here. The one that I have here is the Queen's Emissary. Now, what is the it's obviously a bee here. What was the idea behind this build?
Okay, so this one was for last year's BioCup, so BioCup 2020.
Okay.
And the theme that I was put into was, I think it was non-predatory insects, I believe.
Okay.
Yep, non-predatory insects. And I was having a rough time coming up with an idea because there's not a whole lot of non-predatory insects.
Yeah.
And first thing that came to mind was a bee. At first I was going to do the bee from the bee movie. I forget what his name is. Barry Jensen
Lord.
or something like that. But yeah, I wanted to do something a little bit more serious, and I came across some art online that was like of a traveling bee. I'm like, oh, well, that sounds really cool. And pretty much I just took that idea, upscaled it, and turned out really nice. I was really happy with how it turned out.
I really like the little attention to detail here. It's very obvious that you took elements from like an actual bee, but you very much humanized it here, and I like the little not only the little claw hands that you're using for like the arms hands there, but the little like jagged rock piece that you're using for the tip of the mouth too, and then the Harry Potter wands for the antenna, and then the little like Lord of the Rings ring up on top of the walking stick there. you
Thanks.
really,
I really love the Harry Potter wands. Those were like my favorite part to use. I'm like, oh,
that's
so
really
nice.
Awesome. And I really like the staggered cloth pieces there too. Is that 3 different types of capes you're using?
Yep. One is from the Obi-Wan CCBS set. One is from the Rey CCBS set, and the last one I got off Bricklink. I think it's from a Ninjago set, I believe.
Okay. And that's really cool.
Thank you. It's not as clear in this as well, but it also has some wings. You see in the back, it has some Gorast wing pieces.
It does. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And you really thought of like every little detail on this thing. That is really cool, man.
Thank you.
I love just the general structure and shaping of this. Like you managed to pull off a very organic look without compromising really any of the shaping or proportions or anything. It's really impressive.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, luckily this one actually made me go through to the next round, which was a big shock, and it's the first time I ever went to round 2, I believe.
Well, that's awesome. Man, this is really cool to look at. Really well done on it, and the extra bit of scenery down by his foot is just a little cherry on top for this whole thing. That's awesome.
Thank you.
You have anything else you'd like to say about it?
Probably something interesting as well with this as well was that it kind of gave me the idea that I might do like a series of medieval bugs in a sense, like how another mock that I made, the compound Marksman, is pretty much a knight. I don't know what kind of insect it is. I just decided to make an insect that's like, and its exoskeleton is like armor.
Yeah.
It has a crossbow, and yeah. And I think the next one, I'm not really sure, but I think it's gonna be moth related.
That'd be really cool to see. Speaking of the compound knight, that is the next one that I have pulled up for right now. And you talked a little bit about how you wanted to do a series of just medieval style insects, and I gotta say, this you really pulled it off again on this one. It definitely looks like it belongs in the same kind of series as the Queen's Emissary there.
Thanks. I was really happy with how this one turned out, because it was so hard to like get like some of the proportions right with the size that I was working at.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah. And I'm just really happy with how, especially the crossbow, how that turned out.
The crossbow does look really, really good, and I like that it's got the rubber band for the string there. I wonder, would it actually? Oh no, it wouldn't, because of that piece.
Would it actually shoot?
That'd be cool if you could get it to actually shoot, but I imagine that'd be pretty difficult.
Yeah, it probably could if I got rid of the clips.
Yeah, probably. But it does look really, really nice in the shaping there. I really like how you got the Knight's Kingdom helmet there for the torso armor. That looks really, really snug in there.
Thanks. Yeah, I really liked how that part turned out. In fact, I was thinking of putting arms through the eye sockets.
Oh, that
but
would have been.
instead, it's not really clear here. But instead, what I have is where the second set of arms is that they're like tucked inside, like crossed almost. You get what I mean?
Okay. I like how you use the Harry Potter ones again for the antenna on this one, but it's the updated Harry Potter ones, right? The ones that have almost like a ball joint at the end of them.
Yeah. So the good part about these is that they're extremely posable for whatever purpose that you have. So it's extremely nice when you have like a clip and using the Harry Potter ball joints instead. Oh, just kiss.
I hope that they kind of capitalize on that smaller ball joint system, because I've seen a lot of really cool utilization of those to get some weird, funky posability with something that's the size of like just a regular like lightsaber rod-sized, just anything. Like I really want to see like micro mixel joint kind of functionality in the future, but this is definitely a step in that direction, and I love the fact that it's able to be incorporated for something that works so well like this.
Yeah, I just can't wait for different colors of the Harry Potter ones to come out, hopefully. Hopefully they keep it around for a while, even past Harry Potter.
I hope so. I imagine we'll probably get, I don't know what colors already exist. I imagine like maybe a dark brown or a light brown and then black or something, but I know that there's been other colors of wands in Harry Potter, like white.
Yeah, and I think purple also exists as well.
Purple? Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
I like how you use the whip piece there for the mouth. I can't remember what the technical term for the
I can't either, so don't worry about it.
I know that like flies and butterflies have them. I just can't remember what it's called, but I really like that detail there too. And then the extra like robot arms angled downwards for the teeth or mandibles there.
Thank you. Yeah. The shaping here was a bit tricky. I got some help online asking for so many critiques.
Yeah.
People said that I should put some tires in there. It's not as clear in this one because of the lighting, but there's some small tires underneath the green windshield pieces as well. Give it some.
You can kind of see them there, just barely behind the foggy green windshield pieces. That's a really clever utilization of those pieces too. Like it instantly conveys what you're trying to get across. These big bulbous bug eyes that are looking right at you. It's a really, really cool detail.
I'm glad it came across. That was one of my worries, was that it just wouldn't come across as like eyes or something like that. So I'm glad that it does.
Yeah, I'm really excited when people are able to find a creative use for those pieces aside from just like a head visor, because it was a really cool piece and it had a lot of potential. Like I've seen it used for claws, I've seen it used for insect eyes. It's such a cool piece, and I'm always really happy to see it get used creatively.
Yeah, that was the seed part that I used for this whole mock. I got some off of Bricklink, and I was like, you know what, I really want to make a mock with this. And I put two of them together. I'm like, you know, they kind of look like eyes, and then started off from there.
I've got a few of them actually right behind me here. It's the ones that came with I think it was Stormer, but they've got all that printed on heads-up display stuff on it. I've yet to find myself a clever use for them, but I think this has inspired me to keep trying and see if I can find something that can use them.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of different uses for them. I'm just happy how this one turned out.
Yeah, I really love the Knights Kingdom pieces here, especially like the shoulder armor that you're using on like the thorax behind it, and then the Nexo Knight shields on the shoulders too are a really nice touch. I love that, especially since you chose the translucent green ones too. Like, you could have just left it the silver, but the fact that you made it match the eyes was just extra detail. I love that.
Thanks. That was a point of contention. I wasn't sure if I was going to keep it the trans green, but all the other ones that I had just didn't work. So I was like, well, trans green it is.
they were such cool pieces, those shield pieces. So I love seeing those get used too. For the back there, you're using 2 barrels as a quiver, yeah?
3 barrels.
But
barrels, yes, and
okay.
an interesting part, if you look closely, is that I actually used one of the fire hose like threads.
Yeah, I was just
in like
looking
a city
at that.
set. Yeah. So what I did is I actually like kind of threaded it a bit so that there's like a design to it.
Yeah.
And it actually is being held on.
Man, that is so cool. Really well done on this. Really well done. You've got some talent in this shows, man. Nicely done.
Thank you.
You have any final thoughts you'd like to share on this one?
Other than working with Knights Kingdom parts in that special silver is such a pain because there's only so many sets that came out with that color texture.
I can imagine. Seriously though, well done on this one. The shaping is phenomenal.
Thank you.
All right. And now the third one that we have up for today is Creep from Deep Kalma. Now this is a wicked looking design right here, and I don't even know where to begin. It's got so many elements here and lots of it's obvious that you're going for more of like a pirate theme with this guy, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. Davy Jones was definitely a big inspiration for this guy.
Yeah, I love the I love the huge barreled cannon in his hand right there with oh goodness, that's I can't remember what that was called, but I remember that globe piece on the back of it is from it's from like a Star Wars set, right? One of the ones that was from like Jabba's palace or something.
I was actually from, I think, Alpha Team, the third wave.
Yeah.
It was when they were on the ice tundra area.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what's supposed to. Yeah, so that's supposed to allude to is like a squid launcher, like all those like orange in there, supposed to give the feeling of like tiny squid babies and whatnot. And I would use the cannon to launch them.
That is such a cool touch there, man.
Thank you.
That, you not only got like the full articulate fingers there, but over on the other arm, like that mess of tentacles there. That's a really cool looking.
Yeah. This is a cool part here is that I kind of made it seem like he lost like a couple limbs. The same thing with the peg leg. Yeah. But for this one is that he pretty much took a squid and he just pretty much tied it around his arm using netting. Yeah. And he's using that as pretty much as its own entity almost, and it's just using it as just an extra limb.
Gosh, that is so cool. I really like the fact that you didn't just stick with the regular tentacle whip look that the original set had, and then for the other leg there, the peg leg, that's a really cool touch too, how you stuck to just the wood pieces. I really like the look of that, and then the other leg there too, being squid-like but in a different way, how it's all that inky black. That's a really cool touch too.
Thanks. I wanted to make like a differentiation between the upper legs and the lower legs, kind of like how he's wearing like sort of like pants almost.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I did with like this one. I'm like, oh well, he's got a squid arm. Would be cool if he had squid legs instead.
Yeah.
and not making them too squid-like, but just enough where it seems believable. And then I wanted to keep on with the pirate feel, so I gave him a peg leg.
That's a really, really nice touch. I also love the back to the squid that's tied around his missing arm. I love the extra bits of like flowers and foliage that's in there too, as well as like the squid eye you can see right next to the joint there. That's such a really cool detail.
Yeah, I gotta say, my new favorite part has to be the new leaf piece in the bright green. Oh, yeah. I love the use. I went to a Lego store and I just got a giant pick-a-brick just full of just those leaves.
That's awesome. I really wish that there was a Lego store near me, but I have to travel literally to the other end of my state just to go visit one. It's ludicrous. It's well worth the trip, but man, finding the time to do that is definitely hard nowadays. You did a phenomenal job with the color blending on this. I really like how for the hand holding the cannon, and then for the shoulders and then the face too, you stuck with the traditional color scheme that he had, where it's kind of the black fading into the crimson there. The masks for the shoulder pads right there, that works really surprisingly well.
Yeah, I'm really happy how that turned out, because the marbling on those masks is like, it's red at the front but then black on the back. If you put them matching up with the actual body, it seems like it's actually like all marbled. It's not like it's completely cut off at one part. It seems like it's actually integrated in the body, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, that's a really cool touch there. I like for the face too, you have kind of that Davy Jones look with all the tentacles drooping down, but you also have this like very angry, toothy mouth that is very reminiscent of like all the funky mouth designs that the Baraki had in the first place. And then like the big, huge blue eye up in front and the small two blue eyes off to either side. You conveyed a lot of really cool shaping with that head design there.
Yeah, the head is actually an interesting part, because I was actually a bit more inspired by the actual lore of Kalma, because I think I remember in some of the comics, I think he actually gets blinded in his middle eye, I think from Prydak, and I wanted to be like, oh well, he has 3 eyes. What does it matter if he's blinded in one? This one, it's like if he's blinded in the middle, like that's a big deal, because his other eyes, I made it so that like they're like peripheral.
Yeah.
And they're on the side. And I kind of made it seem like he's very aware of his surroundings as well, under the water and whatnot. And they say like his tentacles at the back can feel vibrations and whatnot. I thought, well, why not just put his eyes on the side? You know, makes it a little more interesting.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. I see he's got another weapon stowed on his hip there. Is that another cannon?
It's not another cannon, it's just a pistol. I just thought, why not? I carry
really
more
cool
than
like
just one.
He's out of ammo in the main cannon, so he just drops it aside and pulls out the little 6-shooter that he's got on his on his hip there. That's a really cool detail. This is really, really well done. I love the I love the like the sea life and foliage that's behind him too. Like it's emulating like seagrass or kelp or whatever, and the little discs to make it look like sand. He's got that little crab under him too. I just saw that. That's awesome. You do a really good job of establishing not just the presence of the build, but also like set pieces to show a build in a more natural environment, and I really, really appreciate that. That's something that's not often seen. I usually just see builds front and center in a light box, or maybe they Photoshop in a background for it to make it look like it's in place, and that's cool. But for actual physical set pieces to go alongside it that have that level of meticulous care put into them, that's really, really cool to see.
Thanks. I'm glad you appreciate it. I definitely like the pop of green that it gives the already a massive amount of black and red.
Yeah, and it really works well here, especially with the blue background. It's like
Yeah.
he's just wading through some light blue clear water. You got the little school of fish there, and oh boy, here comes man with squid cannon. This is really well done. Any wrapping up thoughts on this guy?
None other than this is probably like one of my favorite building experiences. It really came out exactly how I envisioned it, and I'm just extremely happy with how it came out.
That's always awesome when you have an idea for a build and it comes together, and you just can't help but feel satisfied with it afterwards. Like you're like, yeah, I so few times I'm able to build something and look at it and go, yeah, I mean, this could be improved here, this could be improved here. So it's always just so nice when it comes together and you're just thinking, nope, this is good, this is perfect. I wouldn't change a thing on it.
Yeah, it's definitely a rarity nowadays for me, where I'm just like completely happy with it. I'm like, yep,
Yeah.
this is it.
Awesome. Well done on this one, man. Really, really well done.
Thank you.
Well, that's the 3 builds that I do standard per video, all taken care of. But before we get this all wrapped up, I wanted to ask, for the sake of the audience, do you have any tips or pointers for anyone else that aspires to, kind of dip their toes into mocking, or maybe reach levels of shaping or set design like what you've built here?
Yeah, I guess a big part is that I'd say definitely go out and look for help from other people. There's a lot of people on Discord in certain mocking specific groups that if you go there, you show off your mocks, usually they'll be pretty blunt and they'll be like, hey, I definitely think this could use some more work, but usually it's for the better. And usually your level gets a lot higher once you actually go for outside help, because sometimes you'll learn some techniques that you might not have thought of before. Like an example would be the legs on let me bring that back up, the compound Marksman.
Yeah.
I was just using your normal Technic 2-sided axle piece. Then someone just said, well, why not just use either flex tube or a bar? I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I haven't really thought of that. And then I feel like these legs came out a lot better because I was able to attach so many big hands for the extra little detail on it.
Yeah.
So I definitely would say, don't be afraid to go ask people for help on certain things and to be open to criticism and changes.
Yeah, that's very sound advice. I've gone and reached out to a few people, and when I'm building my things, I have actually got a set of mocks on my table right in front of me here. It's in a lineage to display some masks that were recently designed. I was having some troubles with the shaping on a couple of them, so I just reached out to a few people I know. I was like, hey, can you really figure this out? And so they pointed me in the direction of a handful of different builds or even existing BIONICLE sets, and I was able to eventually get that all figured out. It's very, very nice to be able to reach out to someone and have them think of an idea that you just completely missed, or you just didn't think of, and you hear the idea and it's like an aha epiphany, and you suddenly know exactly how you want to go about building it, and it just turns out awesome. So aside from that, really, really well done, man. I know I'm going to be following your builds with great interest. For those of you tuning in today, just if you want to check out more awesome builds from this guy here, there's a link in the description, and trust me, you will not be disappointed. Again, his name is Awesomenessborn. He's got a Flickr. Do you have other platforms where you post your builds?
I also post on Instagram as well. That link will also be in the description. And I'd also like to take this opportunity to shout out the Bio Cup. If anyone's listening, be sure to enter this year. Last year we had like some really intense competition going on. Probably one of the highest quality years we've had in a while. And I say, hey, more the merrier. A bunch of you guys should also come and enter it as well.
Yeah, I love tuning into BioCup and seeing all these creative builds that are spurred on by the fires of competition. It's really, really cool to see all these different building styles in one place coming together for a single purpose. It's really, really just right up my alley, that's for sure. I'm not sure I'm confident enough to participate myself, but I'll definitely be tuning in, and I heavily encourage those of you out there listening to either tune in yourselves or even compete if you feel like you want to. Anyway, I do believe that that about wraps it up for today. Any closing thoughts, Born?
Other than just keep at it, keep building, and thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course. It's been a pleasure. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more cool builds or meet fellow LEGO fans, head on over to board.ttvchannel.com today, so long as you're 13 years or older. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we send out more videos, and check us out on Twitter for even more updates about the channel. I'm on there too, so feel free to follow me for updates about the next MoC Spotlights. If you want to go even further, you can become a patron starting at just $1 a month, and you'll get access to our Discord server and BioCraft Minecraft faction server. For now though, take care everybody, and I'll see you all next time.